Hello guys, it's Alex from investary. Welcome to your 38th basic Python tutorial. In this tutorial I want to be covering some other widgets that we haven't covered. We've covered labels and buttons. Now I want to talk about text and entry widgets, as well as how to manage basically your design of of everything, the layout, using grid. So we're gonna do a program. Basically is if you type in a password and submit it and it's correct, then it's gonna display a piece of text. If it isn't, then it's gonna show something else. So I'm gonna open a new window here, and you can basically just copy everything that we had in the last tutorial. At least this portion is definitely needed, so I'm gonna copy that part at least right there, and we don't need the clicks anymore, but everything else you still need. And this is still just having the class and then initializing the frame. We all know what happens there. We are going to create the method of create widgets. That part is what we're working on, and what this is going to do is create button, text, and entry widgets. And we have covered buttons but not text and entry, so I'm going to do self dot instruction, and I'm gonna have a label that basically says tells the user what to do. It's gonna say enter the password. Once you do that, you want to place it onto the grid, and in order to organize the layout, you would have self.instruction .grid, but in the parameters you want to pass in the row as 0, column as 0. It always starts in 0, programming is always like that. And I want to span this 2 columns and have sticky equal to W. So most of these you can know. Sticky is a bit more interesting thing, and people are wondering why we have that. And it stands, W is actually west, so we're putting it actually to basically the left side and forcing it to put the label on the left side. You can put it to the north, southeast as well. I don't know why they call it sticky, but you do need that. And then I'm gonna tighten this up a little bit right here because we don't need that space in between. Then I'm gonna create a entry widget, and I'm gonna do password or something like that. Entry self, and then once we have that, to put that onto the grid, you password the grid. We want to put it in the next row, so it's gonna be row. Column, I want it 1 over, so it's gonna be 1, and sticky is equal to W. We don't want to have column span or anything. So do that. Close that. Okay. And once that's done, let's create a submit button. Submit button equals button, and then the text is just going to be like submit, and command, what it's going to do is just reveal what the message is going to be, and we're going to have to write a method for this, obviously. Then you want to place that onto the grid as well. And in order to do that, put row is equal to 2, column is equal to 0, and sticky equals to W. I always usually put sticky as W. I don't know when you would use it in any other way. And then lastly, the text that basically displays the message. it's gonna do text txt self. I'm gonna make a width of let's say 35 and height of 5. That's just basically how wide and tall it is, and wrap word. And basically what the wrap does is determines how the text box is wrapped, and the possible values is either in word, char, and none. So the value that we used was wrapping words on the right edge of the text box, and char is characters, meaning that you get the right edge of the text box. I mean, it's basically near the same thing. If you don't want to have any wrapping, just put none and it's all caps. Yeah, that's not really anything important, but you know, it is recommended that you have that. And then I'm gonna obviously put that onto the grid. Text grid. And you gotta make sure that you spell everything here correctly, because once we move on forward and you know you have a little mistake here or there, that's gonna cost you big time, and then you're gonna have to go through and look at which line is the mistake, things such as that. Now, okay, we're gonna do the reveal method, and that's not really that hard. And what this is going to do is it's going to display a message based on the password typed in. And then the content is going to be whatever was typed in, and we want to get that. So once we get that, obviously we learned get and set. Once we get that, we're gonna say if content is equal to let's say password, as that, I know, not really creative, then the message is gonna be you have I don't know, you have access to something special. I don't know. This can be anything that you want it. And if it's not equal to that, then the message is going to be access denied. Really simple right there. And the last thing you want to do is have self have the text that you have. So let me see if I'm doing this. Yeah, text. And basically insert the new message that you have, and it's insert, then you put 0.0 and then message, because that's what you want in it, and 0.0 is just the position where it is, and you want to insert it in row 0 and column 0. So this is row, this is column. I don't think I've ever used it in any other position, so it's mostly just that. Now let's finally close everything out here. Have that root wrapping up the program. Basically have a title, say password. Root geometry, making the size of it, I'll recommend probably 250 by 150. Seems reasonable enough because this program is a bit long. Application root as always, and have the root main loop working as well. So once you have that, save it. I'm gonna save this as password.py, and hopefully we did everything right and run it. And once we run it, we see that we have this box right here. If I can get it over, and basically enter the password. I spelled enter wrong, and then you can type in whatever you want. You can see how there's, you know, this space right here, and then a little space over here. I actually probably could have put something right here that had password colon, and then, you know, then it will just look a bit neater. But That's not really necessary. In order to do that, you would have row 1 and then column 0 for this little box here. But let's just type in a password that isn't. Let's try password first because that is what we set our password. Submit. You have access to something special, and that's what we did right here. You have access to something special, so that does mean that it does work. However, let's try something like, let's try anything else. It's gonna say access denied, and oh, it's weird. I didn't clear out. I don't think that we cleared out the okay, yeah, here's something that I forgot. When you have the insert, you want to delete what you had before. That's something really important, especially if you're dealing with, I don't know, like critical information. You want to delete, and in order to do that, it's 0.0 and then end in all caps. Now when we run it and we type in password, it's going to show you have access to something special, but when you type in something random, it's going to say access denied, and it cleared out the other information before. And if you type anything, it's going to give you access denied. So hopefully you learned that this is actually useful. This is a pretty useful video right here. Learn something in this tutorial. Please subscribe if you still haven't, and be sure to check out our next video.